Hello all, welcome to our channel Way to Know. So in this video, we will talk about ESP-01 module and the circuit that is required around ESP-01 module. So there is limited support on the ESP-01 module because actually it's not a direct chip, right? There is a module and then there is schematic around, and a small board is built. So these boards can be built by anyone, and you get this at a very cheap rate. Like example, if in INR we talk, we are talking around 100 to 150 Indian rupees for this module. So very popular among the hobbyists, and especially someone wants to try a small POCs. This is the one to go because getting a Wi-Fi module at 100 rupees is like awesome, right? So that's why this is popular and we see people using it. And there are definitely some precautions which we need to consider, especially we are talking about the hardware part here. Okay, if you see, this is a ESP-01 module, okay, basic snapshot, and then to program this particular chip, we need few important connections, and definitely ground and input voltage is required. And apart from this, you have serial connections which are TX and RX. So this module gets programmed through the TX and RX. So the TX and RX will be connected to the UART to TTL converter, and then you program it using the Arduino IDE. So that's a separate part. In this part, we will talk about important connections around the supply and the enable pins. Like if you see here, the fifth pin here as indicated is a VCC. Okay, so this particular module operates from 2.5 to 3.6. So this module has a ESP8266 Wi-Fi chip on it. So the operating voltage of ESP8266 is 2.5 to 3.6. Okay, so considering that, we'll be operating at 3.3 volts because 3.3 volts is the commonly used, right? 2.5 voltage levels are very uncommon in circuits, correct? So at 3.3 volts, and then there is one pin called chip enable on ESP8266. So that is extended out to CH underscore PD. This can be read as chip power down, and this particular pin has to be pulled high for this chip to be active. In case if you are working on low power applications, this particular pin can be driven by your further circuitry, and this chip can be powered down so that it consumes as much low power as possible. So that's the on the chip uh, enable. So chip enable always has to be powered up if you are using the module. And then you have GPIO 0. So the GPIO 0 pin actually the level on this pin determines whether the module or ESP8266 is in the bootloader mode or normal operating mode. So when we are programming this particular module from the serial port TXD and RXD, this particular switch has to be closed so that GPIO 0 is grounded. That means it is ready for programming. So and once the programming is done, you release the switch, and this particular ESP8266 boots from the flash. Okay, now and then ground pin. So these are the pins required. So it looks very simple. There are chances that you miss out on these because the explanation, if you see around the internet or the resources, is not so clear on the ESP-01, and especially if you read the data sheet, it takes hell lot of time for you to conclude that these are the pins required. So ready for your next design on ESP01? Go ahead and use this particular module. As we said, this is the low cost module in the market. Thank you.